We need bridges in the crypto space. And the reality is that we often do have a love-hate relationship with them. That's because there are some spectacular bridges out there, as well as some that are ultra low quality. And so there's a big delta, pretty big disparity between both ends. But when it comes to our favorite bridge in cryptocurrency, you probably know what that is. When it comes to these guys, it's only love in terms of that love-hate dynamic. I am talking, of course, about Wanchain. And they have a huge new update that we want to talk about. It's going to be impacting everybody that uses bridges in the Wanchain community. This is a really big one, and it's going to translate into the fact that the best player in the crypto bridge game is getting even better. Welcome to the channel. My name is Maddie and this is Altcoin Buzz. Crypto, bridges, or otherwise, I wish you all the best of luck if you choose to invest, genuinely. But I'm not a financial or investment advisor. I hope that's evident. Either way, just remember that this video is not official financial or investment advice. Okay, so bridging fees are coming, but this is a good thing. Allow me to explain. Because if you're a fan or subscriber of Altcoin Buzz, if you've been with us over at least some course of time, then you probably already know what we think about Wanchain. We are unabashedly big fans. And that's an easily defensible position because Wanchain represents the best, the safest, and often the fastest bridge in the crypto space. They are the original cross-chain bridge protocol. We swear by them, and many of us here at Altcoin Buzz use their bridges regularly. Their security is top-notch. The Stormin nodes and rotation system mean that even the node itself doesn't know which transactions it's going to bridge. That makes it the most secure, decentralized bridge in the market. Hands down, it's not even close. And some changes are coming that's going to make Wanchain's bridges even better and even stronger in the not too distant future. So let's begin with those new bridge fees that I alluded to. The big change here is, in fact, these bridge fees. And I know you're probably thinking that paying more for the same service doesn't seem like good news, but the fact is, in this case, it is, because up until now, the only fees you paid to Wanchain were to cover gas on the source chain. So if you bridged USDC, for example, from BNB Smart Chain to Optimism, your fee would be something very small, on the order of 0.0004 BNB or about 30 cents. Okay, but that's now changing. Wanchain is going to charge a bridge fee, but again, this is a good thing because it's going to give the Wanchain team the money to maintain top security and add value to their ecosystem. The fee can be broken down into two parts. Number one, the service fee, and number two, the network fee. And the service fee is typically a small fee for gas on the destination chain. Okay, but how are these new fees going to affect a typical bridge transaction? So in that example that I just talked about, you only paid in BNB for BNB Smart Chain gas. The service fee will now cover the gas on Optimism where you are receiving to. And as you know, depending on the conditions and costs, that could be either in ETH or in OP. So that's one change, and it's not that big a deal to be honest. Given the interaction with two smart contracts, we expect two gas fees, and most of the time this fee is very low. But it is more than we've paid on Wanchain before. Then we have the network fee. This is a percentage fee based on the volume of your transaction. The initial base fee is going to be at 0.2%, and that equates to 20 cents for every $100 that you bridge. Again, this is very low, although market conditions can change potentially what this network fee will be. And a big reason for all this is better security against spam attacks, because for security purposes, this is a very smart move. The network fee will have upper and lower limits. The upper limit is to not punish large transactions and to stay competitive in pricing with other quality bridges. But the smart thinking here is in the lower fee range. The lower end of the fee range is designed against DDoS attacks or spamming transactions to the network. Spamming tons of tiny transactions to a low-fee network is the reason for Solana's last outage. And that goes for a lot of outages in the tech space. Because the cost for a spammer or hacker to do this is so low when transaction fees are low, that's kind of the rationale. That's the logic and the strategy that these spammers use. This, by the way, also happened in January to Manta Network. The minimum transaction charge in the network fee makes spamming the network or planning a DDoS attack a lot more expensive and a lot more difficult. So this is a great security measure taken by the team. These new bridge fees are going to help make the most secure bridge even more secure. And we're also going to see more direct benefits for Wanchain's native token holders. That's the WAN token. The service fee, which again is very small in terms of percentage of bridge volume, is going to be automatically converted into WAN, WAN. When that happens, the Storm and Bridge nodes are going to get 10% of the service fee. Another 10% goes to the regular proof of stake nodes on the Wanchain network. Many nodes run for both, so those that keep the bridge safe are going to earn a little bit more. But that's only 20% of the fee. 40% of the fee goes to the community treasury to pay out for various rewards and programs, and 30% goes to development funding for continuous improvements to the Wanchain bridge. But altogether, that's only 90%. We still have the last 10% to account for. Well, that's going to segue us nicely into the burn program here, because Wanchain is starting a burn mechanism for WAN. And 10% of the service fee we pay to Bridge will convert to WAN tokens, and those tokens will burn. We expect this to have a real effect on the total supply of WAN, and reduce the supply over time. That means it's also going to make WAN more valuable for existing holders. We are very fond of this measure. In general, we love burn programs. But then aside from that mechanism and the community benefits of converting the service fee to WAN, token holders also get another big benefit in the form of reduced bridge fees. If you have at least 10,000 WAN, which at today's price is about $2,300 worth, then you qualify for tiered discounts on your bridge fees. So again, this makes sense to give back to those who contribute most to the community.
And so if this market pulls back hard under this level, and then consolidates and comes back, we're likely to sell and stall.
So you may be asking yourself, why add these fees now at this stage in Wanchain's development? Because for many years, the project has been the top bridge. It never had a hack. It never lost its users' money. So where's the impetus? Where does this decision come from? Well, you can see that from what we've talked about today, the big idea they have is really threefold. First of all, they're trying to improve security and maintain their lead in terms of bridge superiority. Secondly, they want to reward WAN token holders for their loyalty to the community. And number three, they want to show all the rest of us why WAN is a token worth adding to our portfolios. We've been longtime fans of the Wanchain bridge. We used it early and we still use it often. And we love the idea here of paying just a little bit more to ensure that the bridge will be there for us in the future. This is very much a space that requires trustless, decentralized bridges like Wanchain. And linking bridge fees to the WAN token is a great idea too. In the last 12 months, WAN is up about 35%, which is a pretty respectable ROI and candidly better than many other altcoins in this market. Over the last 90 days, the last 3 months, it's a bit of a different story. It's down about 25-30%. And in the last 30 days, it's also down slightly, a handful of percentage points. And so one can probably say that after a strong 12-month performance, it's taking a little bit of a breather. Then, as you can see here, the team has been teasing some news on their X account about this update, and people are responding positively with enthusiasm. This is what happens when a project has credibility and doesn't overhype itself. In conclusion, we think these new bridge fees will add a ton of value to Wanchain holders as well as the service. So if you haven't already done so, you probably ought to check out the WAN token and the Wanchain bridge, all the functionality there. If you're not familiar with it, you really are missing out. Here's a link to the Wanchain bridge. Give it a try. More than $1 billion worth of bridge volume swears by Wanchain. Again, the safest track record in the industry, bar none. Give it a shot by clicking on the link, which I will be sure to include in the description below.